5th of September 2018. Revolutionary day for Canon. Finally, after many years of waiting, company announced its first full-frame mirrorless camera, EOS R. It has 30 megapixel sensor, ISO range from 100 to 40,000, extendable to 102,400. 4K video recording at whopping 480 megabits per second. It boasts headphone jack, mic input, tilty flippy touchscreen and brilliant dual pixel autofocus with astonishing 5,655 autofocus points, which I'm sure will make it a perfect toy for rich wannabe vloggers. However, I'm afraid great news stops right about here. Before we dive deep into all the flaws of this camera, let me just quickly mention that I think for photos this camera will be a good option. However, since I'm more interested in the video capabilities of cameras, I'm gonna talk more about that. And frankly, speaking about photos, doesn't make much sense in 2018, since pretty much every new camera will be able to produce great pictures. So for indie filmmakers market, which Canon basically created 10 years ago when they've released 5D Mark II with 1080p recording feature, this new mirrorless EOS R camera unfortunately doesn't provide anything new that competitors don't offer already, and it even lags behind in certain areas. To start with, it can only record 4K 30, no 60 FPS slow-mo at 4K, which is alright, understandable. To my knowledge, there isn't any affordable around 2K mark full frame 4K 60 cameras. But to make matters worse, it has 1.7 times crop factor in 4K, which essentially turns it to roughly Super 35 camera for videos, and not full frame. Oh, and no DCI 4K. Great job, Canon. On the topic of frame rates and slow motion, at 1080p you can only shoot 60 frames per second, and you will get 120 FPS only at 720p. So not only it's behind competitors in 4K recording, but also in slow motion capabilities, since A7 III can shoot 1080p 120. Let's continue. We are in 2018 and top of the line, revolutionary camera does not support HEVC codec. Definitely smart choice. Let's burn 60 megabytes of data each second using H.264 instead of implementing H.265 support and cutting that data rate in half. I mean, I guess at least thanks for H.264 and not motion JPEG. Furthermore, on the negative side of this revolutionary camera, no ibis. While competitors like Sony, Nikon and Panasonic all offer cameras with in-body image stabilization, Canon, being Canon of course, skips this awesome feature. Enough said, to be honest. In my opinion, if you're late to the market by at least 5 years, you gotta make sure that your camera is the best in many areas. But Canon just decided to drop the ball in video features, probably to protect their higher-end lineup of cinema cameras. Another downside is that R internally can only record 420 at 8-bit and do that for standard 29 minutes and 59 seconds, so Panasonic's GH5 and GH5S stays unbeaten here. To put last nail in the coffin, at least for me, EOS R features only one SD card slot, so forget about backing up your important footage on fly. And for all of that, Canon asks, only $2,300. Honestly, at this point, I have no idea why would you go and spend all this money for Canon. If this camera was released 5 years ago, well, even 2 years ago, it would have been a very good deal. But in 2018, I just can't see many reasons for this purchase. Dual pixel autofocus is probably the only reason you would really want to buy this camera, at least in my opinion. Otherwise, I would much rather support companies like Sony and Panasonic. You know, the ones who actually try to improve their products and bring features that customers ask for, not take them out. Unfortunately, it seems as though Canon didn't really learn all that much from the past 5 years. It still basically tries to compete with itself, because if anything, this new camera is basically more affordable 5D Mark IV in a compact body, which is, don't get me wrong, pretty good overall. But in my opinion, it's not enough to just reuse 2 years old technologies by simply slapping new sticker on it, which is actually, funnily enough, what DJI made with their new drone. You can watch a video up here. Especially when you have many competitors already. We aren't in 2008, when you literally pioneered the market. Now you're behind. You need to catch up and beat your competitors. But year after year after year, Canon just continued to disappoint many people. Well, I guess that means that Sony and Panasonic will still have plenty of customers. And that's great news. Before you go, I just want to thank you for watching this video and ask if you like this new Canon's camera. Please comment below. Will you buy it? Will you skip it? Will you go for like Sony instead? Tell me what you think. Please leave a like, subscribe for more tech related content. See you in the next video. Take care.